Now, away from that, it's been almost 10 months into the second term of the Akufo Addo administration, and for the first time under any government, there have been delays in the appointment of Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, MMDCEs. Once again, there is the assurance that the wait should soon be over. Communications Director of the Presidency, Eugene Ahin, taking to social media on Wednesday, announced that the said list has been finalized and will be on Thursday submitted to the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Dan Boche. According to him, Ghanaians should expect the list to be announced by the minister very soon. His announcement comes at a time when the minority in Parliament and some members of the general public have expressed worry over the delay in the appointment of MMDCEs. By the president. Now, they describe the development as unconstitutional and a drawback to the country's decentralization drive. But Eugene Ahin disagrees. He's been explaining why government's delayed in making the appointment.
These are going to be the president's representatives at the local governance structure of our country. So this process has been an exhaustive one. It started off at the regional level. A short list was submitted to the national level, and the report by the Dambuchi-led committee was submitted to the president. He has undertaken due scrutiny of the list that was submitted to him, and yesterday the process was completed. That was yesterday in the evening, and I've been reliably informed that this morning the list has been dispatched to the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Government. So whatever be the case, I'm sure as soon as possible the Minister would duly put out that list. Governance at the local level was affected in any way whatsoever, because first and foremost, at the expiration of the term of the outgoing MMDCEs, the President through the Chief of Staff indicated to all those outgoing DCs to stay put until such time that he's ready to let them go. I mean, just to make sure that there's no vacuum at the local level and to make sure that development continues unabated. I mean, that has been done. But as I indicated, persons who are to be MMDCEs are the President's representatives at the local level of our governance structure. So he has to get it right. He can't afford any mistakes. And that has been the reason why he instituted a two-tier vetting approach, if I can put it that way, at the regional level, at the national level. All those things were done. And he also had to satisfy himself, because at the end of the day, they are his appointees, not the appointees of a committee or a particular group. They are his appointees. So he needs to make sure that each person who is going to a district, each person who is going to a municipality or a metropolitan area is well clothed with the necessary expertise and experience to be able to make sure that the agenda he has for the next 4 years is duly carried out. So in terms of a delay, well, I don't see it as a delay, because, as I said, there was no vacuum occasioned by this so-called delay. All the old MMDCs were asked to stay put until such time that he gets ready to appoint new ones. So I don't think the delay has occasioned any issue whatsoever at the local level.
Eugene Ahin adds that though the president has taken time to make the selection, some names that have made it to the list may still be rejected. Let's go on to Zoom now and do a quick check on the list. Journalist editor Araba Kumsin joins us. Araba, has it arrived at the Local Government Ministry as announced by the Director of Communications at the Presidency?
Ernest, that tweet that was sent out yesterday by Eugene Ahin, of course, the expectation was that it will be made available to the Local Government Ministry this morning. But our checks show that as of 6 p.m. Thursday, that is today, the ministry was yet to take delivery of this finalized list that Mr. Eugene Ahin speaks of. Our sources at the ministry say that they have not been given any list of nominees as announced earlier. Ernest.
Thank you very much. That's John News editor Araba Kumsim checking with the Local Government Ministry on this list that is supposed to be delivered. But what names have made it to the list? Joining me on Zoom is my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson. Kwesi, what have you learned about this list? You'd have to unmute your device, Kwesi, so we can hear you.
Right. So, Ernest, I am saying that if you study the list carefully, you will get the understanding that most of the MMDCs, the chief executive themselves, will be maintained. There are a few other places that government it's yet to take a decision on the names that have been recommended by the committee who were tasked to interview the applicants for the various positions as MMDCEs. Again, there were some places where there is concern about the attitude of the MCE, and as a matter of fact, they recommended that government should not appoint them. Now, a clear case, and I'm bringing you to the Greater Accra region where we are at the moment. A clear case is about the Bon Katamato, for example. A total different person was recommended for the position of MCE. Now, the justification is that the constituency is sharply divided between the parliamentary candidates and the MCE. And Ernest, if you followed the 2020 election, you could recall that there were a lot of allegations against the PC, the parliamentary candidates, and the MCE. Allegations were that the MCE was working to undermine the victory of the parliamentary candidate. So, based on this information, they have agreed that the MCE should be kicked out, and a whole total, a different person who is not aligned to either the MCE nor the parliamentary candidate should be appointed as the MC. And this is in the person of Mr. Engineer Felix Tete. So he is the man who has been recommended by the committee to be appointed as the MC for that area. If you come to Greater Accra, for example, for Ashaman constituency, the MC has been recommended to be maintained. The AMA, for example, near Jesoa, the committee recommended that it should be maintained. If you come to Ningo Pram constituency, for example, the MC has been recommended to be maintained. But interestingly, if you go to the Bono region, a few of the assemblies do not have. They couldn't even file an applicant to be interviewed, because if you look at the list, we are told that no decision taken yet, and there are no applicants or persons or individuals who are vying for that position. Their names are not there. So Wenchi, Tyne, and German North, these are areas that you don't have any individual there. And finally, to the Western North constituency, the committee believes that there were some parliamentary candidates who really worked. However, they could not win the elections. And so they recommended that they should be given the appointment as the district chief executive for the area. So our win, for example, Bia West and then Bia East, the parliamentary candidates have been asked to fill the position of the district chief executive.
Kwesi, thank you very much. And these are names, and of course, we are getting from the committee that did the vetting of MMDCEs for those who applied. And John is following this very closely. Once the list is released, you can be sure that we'll get you updated.